Intellectuals do. Intellectuals do. With James Kirkland. Powerful and provocative. Prophetic and practical. Intellectuals do. Informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Intellectuals do. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Loop it again, play it again. Give people a few people the time to come in. Let's do it again. I know I look like a little kid with my popsicle.
Powerful and provocative. Prophetic and practical. Informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Intellectuals do. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
If you're there, please say hello. If you're on for the book club meeting, say hello to me. Let me know who you are and that you're there. Please, ma'am, please, sir. We're getting ready to start the book club in just a moment. And I want to know who all's there. I can't see. My bad. Uh-oh, I can't spell. Hi. Once again, if you're here on tonight for the book club, we're dealing with the book Soulmates Dissipate. If you're on for that, please. I see some comments. My bad. I ain't even checked them yet. I'm over doing tick. What we got? Baby Zedco, what's up? What's up? Myra's on. Myra, you need to join the group. Monique, hey, how you doing? All right, so if you are in the comments, I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm trying to give people enough time to come on so we can have a good discussion about soulmates. We started that discussion on last week, and it was a good discussion for real. And so I want to do more with that tonight, but I'm trying to give people time to come in. So good evening to all. Please, ma'am, please, sir, say your name. Let me know that you're there. Because I want to have a good conversation. Up higher in the comments, I put a link. If you click on that link, that is what will enable you to come on if you want to discuss. Because this is not going to be a monologue. It's going to be a dialogue. If I'm the only one talking, I'm hanging up. For real, I can type myself. I'm joking. No, I'm not. But for real talk. This is going to be a good little discussion. And listen, I know sometimes these discussions make you think. But we'll talk about that part later. Give me a minute. Trying to do better by drinking my water, so I got my water. And I do own the copyright. Hey, Myra. I do own the copyrights to this music. What's up, Sandra? Y'all got to join. Go to my Facebook group and join the book club, into the Intellectual Stew book club. So y'all, we can see y'all. We can see y'all. I want y'all to be thinking right now before, because this music will be up in about a minute. So be thinking, what did you read the book, Myra? Who's talking to? Y'all having a conversation. I can't tell who's talking, but I'm not that insecure. Listen, be thinking though, because I'm going to ask you all a question about what you all think, what you think a soulmate is, what you think a soulmate is. And I hope y'all have read the book. Hey, Kirk, and hey, Joy. So Joy's in there too. How come I can't see nobody's name? I say Monique's name, but I don't see y'all's names. Is it because y'all are not a part of the group or what? I really wish I could see y'all's names. So I got Myra, I got Sandra. Some people left. I got Monique. But listen, we're going to continue this discussion. The book that we are discussing, for those that have it, is Soulmates Dissipate. Now, if you have read the book, or if you have at least started reading the book, drop me a 1 in the chat. Let me know that you've started it, so I can know how to kind of proceed with this conversation. The name of the book is Soulmates Dissipate, and we're doing the actual first book. Who is this on chapter 5? It just says Facebook user, but good. So if you're on chapter 5, that means you've at least gotten started, so we can start. All right, good. Monique, you've read it. I'm going to assume that's Joy on chapter 5, and hopefully some more people will jump on. Listen, even if you have not read the book, that's okay. Okay, Joe, I got you. Even if you have not read the book, that's okay. You can still participate in the discussion. I'm gonna give it about a couple of more minutes, if y'all don't mind, just to try, like I said, get a few more people in the discussion, because I don't want this to be a monologue tonight. I really don't. I want it to be a dialogue, and I know it's going to take a little while to grow. I know you. I know you have to grow where you're trying to go. So hopefully, like I said, a couple of more people will get on, and as we get on, we'll be able to have a little bit more, a little heartier discussion. So give it just a couple of more minutes, if y'all don't mind. If you'll bear with me, Monique and Joy. Myra, where did you go? I guess they broke out because they hadn't read the book. Or maybe they're going to join the group. But let me open this book up. I'll turn my air on. It's hot. What is a soulmate? Somebody give me that definition again. Give me a good. Myra's already in the group. Okay. But I don't know why. Well, yeah, you're in the group too, but I don't know why I don't see your face on here unless you're having a hit, unless you're trying to hide yourself. Who needs a book? Who is that saying that? You go to. What I did is I used the Kindle app, and then I downloaded the Kindle app to my phone, and when I downloaded the Kindle app to my phone, I was able to download the book for $1.99. And so that's the first of 8. I don't know if we're going to go through all 8. I know we'll probably at least go through the first couple. So that's why. So yeah, go to Kindle and get that book. But tonight we're gonna start the discussion once again on soulmates. Let's see if I can make this go down. There we go. Hold on. Close. Ooh. Where was I at? Yeah, right here. All right, so we're gonna have to ride with what we got tonight. I need a book, please. So listen, that's where we're at. So, like I said, go to Kindle, download the Kindle app, or maybe if you have maybe if you can get the app Audible or one of those, and they'll let you get it like that. But I downloaded mine digitally, like I said, for $1.99, and it's a really easy read. I mean, I knocked it out, I think, in a day and a half. Now, don't get me wrong, I know I have a whole lot of days where I don't have to really do anything, so that enables me it gives me an opportunity to do some things like this. So I was able to finish that book like in a day and a half at the most. So I want you all, if you would, to get that book. Also, you see the website on the screen. So I want you all, if you would, check out our website. You can see a lot of our videos for our podcast, and you can see merchandise as far as t-shirts and all of those types of things. So if you want to keep up with what we got going on, please, ma'am, please, sir, go to theintellectualstew.com. So tonight we are dealing with the book Soulmates Dissipate. Soulmates Dissipate. In the chat, now, like I said, I want us to operate from a premise of from the same premise as it relates to what we think, what we call a soulmate. What if somebody would give me a definition, and we started this last week. We did have a pretty good little discussion last week, those of us that were able to get online. But give me a good definition of the term soulmates. Somebody, please, ma'am, please, sir, give me a good definition of what's a soulmate. A soulmate is a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. Okay, I like that. All right, so let's start with that as the first sentence. So somebody else come in and I'm gonna put these dots in here, and I want whoever, I don't know who that is that put that comment up, but I want somebody else to do a continuation of what she just said. Soulmates is a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. Would anybody else expand on what a soulmate is in that regard? Joy put that okay. All right, somebody else expand on that for me, please. Give me a little bit more. A person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. Ideally suited. I like that terminology. Anybody else? Go ahead. Can anybody else add anything to that? What did Webster say the definition was? Did anybody check that? I know usually everybody goes to Webster to pull up a definition. So I'm gonna look up definition. Why? And hopefully somebody else will add to Joy's definition of a soulmate. And we're gonna get into the book in a moment. Trust me. But I'm just trying to set some foundational pencil. Okay, you did get Webster's definition. I see. All right, now somebody give me their personal definition as it relates to what a soulmate is. A soulmate. A true definition of a soulmate. Here one is. It says a person who is perfectly suited to another in temperament, who strongly resembles another in attitude or beliefs, and they're an ideological soulmate. So it's kind of like their hearts are intertwined. It's like if that person is stuck on 99, then when they meet the soulmate kind of gives them that last little oomph that puts them to 100. Would y'all agree or disagree on that? Give me some feedback on this. Like I told you, we're not gonna have this. Not gonna be it's not going to be a dialogue, if you will. But it's not going to be a monologue, but it's going to more so be a dialogue. Somebody help me out. Somebody give me some more information or some more thoughts as it relates to what a soulmate is. And to be fair, there are no right or wrong answers. Okay, so don't be embarrassed, or don't think somebody's going to put you on blast. All we're doing is we're reasoning together. We're having we're setting up a good little foundation, and based on the book, how Jada first saw Wellington, and she somehow immediately knew or immediately felt that was her soulmate, and it seemed like likewise he came to that conclusion where he started to draw that conclusion himself. So, but if we're going to go forward with the book, I think we should have a good definition of what a soulmate is. So did anybody click on the link that wants to come on with me and help me narrate this book? Because I don't want to narrate it by myself. Monique or Joy or somebody who let me put the link in here again. Link to come on the show. Let me put it on here. Oops, that's Control V. All right. What just happened? Comment. Oh, there we go. There we go. There now, that's the link for anybody, like I said, that wants to come on and discuss this book, because it was an interesting read. Like I said, when it was recommended to me, first of all, I'm not really a fiction type person. I'm more one of those that does a lot of those information type books, or look at the status of mankind type books and all those, because I really wanted to do first I wanted to do the new Jim Crow, but somebody suggested that we try to do something fun, so we went with this particular book by Mary B. Morrison that is entitled Soulmates Dissipate. Now, Joy gave us the definition, Webster's definition of a soulmate. A soulmate is someone who is a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. So that means that individual, they kind of click. Now, last week we took this discussion a little bit farther, and we asked the question, do you only get one soulmate in life? Now, I said I operated under the assumption most of my life, or really until the last couple of weeks, until I asked that question on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. I operated with the assumption that you only get one soulmate. You only get one person that truly commits, that truly completes you, that really does it on all levels. Now, but I also said that I don't think we always marry our soulmate. Now, there's after our discussion last week, I got a couple of phone calls and inboxes with some people who were troubled by wondering had they already met their soulmates, and I'm telling them I'm not God, nor am I, so I'm not a judge, so I'm not trying to tell you who your soulmate is or who your soulmate is not. And then the other thing is, I don't want us to get confused as it relates to the difference between a soulmate and a soul tie, because so many times we connect with people and we create soul ties, and those soul ties aren't always our soul mates. Does that make sense? So looking at this particular book, Jada definitely Mary Morrison introduced some characters who were big on this whole soulmate piece, and so she wasn't really going to waste her time as far as considering someone to really settle down with, unless that individual was her soulmate. That was evident by the fact that she had such a long relationship with the other basketball player, Mr. NBA. They had been in a relationship, I think, for 10 or 12 years, however long it was, but she never really considered settling down with him or marrying him or anything of the sort. Now, but on the contrary, when she met Wellington, she was ready to give it all up because somehow they connected. And that's an interesting concept, because I mean, I wonder if marriages would last longer. I wonder if relationships would be better if we all really connected with our soulmates. What were some dynamics that y'all saw about the book as it relates to, like, for instance, Jada and Wellington, when they first met? What were some signs, if you will, that made it seem like Wellington was indeed Jada's soulmate, and she was his, vice versa? I'm gonna wait on y'all to give me some answers on this one, and then I'm gonna get into some of these other questions that I have. Help me out, those that have read. Why is he doing this to me? Anybody going to feedback? If y'all need another week to read, let me know, and I promise you we can do it that way. Here we go. The first trip to the coast. What about that first trip to the coast, Monique? So what happened? She's talking about the first trip to the coast. After they had kind of went through their little phone tag and all that kind of stuff, and he had almost messed up, and she had almost given up on him. He invited her to go on a trip. He just told her to pack a bag and pack the bag, and we're going to go somewhere. And he didn't even tell her where they were going initially. And they went on the coast. So somebody else, come on, give me a little bit more narration of it. Tell me what else happened during that, and what was so special about that in your eyes. What was so special about that on that whole encounter when they were on the beach and the ride from her house to the coast? What was all what was so special about that made them feel like they were each other's soulmates? I need somebody to come on and talk with me. So if y'all come on and talk, then we can have a discussion about this, and we won't have something. Let me see if anybody invite. Who wants to come on? I'm gonna invite somebody. Hope I'm still on. We'll see in a minute. I'm sending y'all some invites. Some of y'all some invites so y'all to come on. Who else is on here that I know? That's all I know for now. So that way y'all want, if y'all come on, then that way y'all won't have to type. Hopefully, if y'all accept the invite, come on. We type it. I know that's why I know y'all typing, but I just sent y'all some inboxes, and those of you all that don't want to just type, you can actually come on live if you don't mind, and we can have this discussion so we can actually have a dialogue instead of me sitting up here just only doing a monologue. But for those that are just coming, tapping in and out, we're having a discussion about the book Soulmates Dissipate, and we're gonna continue this discussion. All right, so she said, bring luggage, leave a bag at, oh, said bring luggage, leave bag at home. His humor, she asked, was he married? And he told a joke. Yeah, and when he told her to trust him and let him do his thing, yeah. Because I mean, they really connected on a deep intimate level. Because I remember him saying about listening to looking at the stars and kind of listening to the ocean and trying to get their hearts to be in rhythm. Because I don't, you know what, I don't felt me. I mean, speaking from a man's point of view, we're not gonna really put that much effort in somebody that we're not feeling like that, you know. And he had to be feeling her. Even that night when he started sending all those roses to her at the club when they were out there, he did something real. I guess kind of. I mean, what's the word I would use? He did something that to really get her attention. I guess that's the best word to use. He did something that he thought would really get her attention, and doing that, it did get her attention. On the way out when he kissed, no, she wanted him to kiss her hand. Okay, Monique's coming in. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and let her in. Talk with me, Monique. All right. Hey, Monique.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
So, well, Wellington and Jada's relationship. Jada said Jada felt like Wellington was her soulmate, and that I think she felt it before he felt it. Do you agree?
Possibly.
I mean, based on in the club when he well, no, you know what? It could be either way because he did send all those roses, didn't
He did.
he? He did send all those roses, so he
Who?
identified. Go
What
ahead.
concert? What concert were they at? Who were the artists?
I forgot the name. Who was somebody help me? Somebody in the chat. Who what concert were they at that night? It was Will Downing, wasn't it? Wasn't it Will Downing, the jazz artist? I think it was Will Downing
Okay.
because she was saying that that was one of her favorite that was one of her favorite artists. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Will Downing. You looking it up?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
okay.
I have the
Yeah.
app on my phone. If I click out and
Oh,
look
okay.
at the Kindle app on my phone, if I look out, it's gonna take me away from this
Joy said
page.
that must be chapter 5. It's so crazy.
No,
No,
it's actually in the beginning of the book.
no, that was in the first 2 chapters, at least in the first 2 chapters.
Right,
It was
right.
Will Down. I'm pretty sure it was Will Down. I'm trying to thumb through it right now, but I'm pretty sure it was Will Downing. And so he started sending the roses over there and all that kind of stuff, right? And then they
Right.
connected, and see, and so they
So
did it.
he probably knew before she did, but
He would
he never called. So how would they know have known sooner in the book
yeah,
if he hadn't have called? You know,
yeah, he did.
like
Yeah,
he was
he didn't rush the call, but he
no,
definitely he made an impression on her, and Jada seemed like the kind of woman that didn't impress easily. You know what I'm saying? When you talking about,
right.
because she was a strong sister. I mean, luxury car, 6-figure salary. You know what I'm saying? Drop dead
Mhm.
gorgeous. The way Mary Morrison wrote the book, she was drop dead gorgeous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And suppose that every man would want her and all that kind of thing. So it wasn't as though you could just do anything to impress her. You had to do something, that was uh that would actually get her attention. You with me? Do you
Mhm.
agree? And
I agree.
so and so with the way his approach was so smooth, the way he sent the roses, da, da, da. And then even when she said, you just, when she asked for a kiss, or he asked for a kiss, and she said, kiss me with no where, tell me where to kiss, and he kissed her between her fingers and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They were, I think he was being intimate long before, he even, but man, it was, I think foreplay started from them the moment they started having a conversation. And even
Right.
before the conversation, his foreplay started when he started sending the roses, and then hers started with the little kiss, in the before she got in the car, and then she was so full of anticipation, and then he wouldn't call. He was called. Yeah, he was. It was. Oh yeah, that, and I think when you. So that goes back to the whole definition what Joyce said, what Webster said. If we start unpacking that, definitely we said a soulmate is a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. So in other words, I guess they just had to fit, or they had to connect. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's the right word.
Okay.
They had to connect.
They
Then,
definitely
then
had a
on the
connection.
trip to the coast, that's when they actually connected. He was saying he told this little joke, but his eyes went somewhere else when
Hmm.
after telling the joke. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying
And
to remember
then
the
he
joke.
just said, well, he told her, you can bring your luggage, but leave your bags at home. Leave
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
bag,
yeah,
leave
yeah,
your
yeah.
baggage at home,
Yep, yep,
come
yep, yep, yep,
relax,
yep, yep.
connect to the earth, whatever. I think they were on the beach
Uh-huh.
and it was daylight, but he was like, at nighttime, it's a whole nother scene. Just soak it in. Those weren't
Yeah,
his words, but he was like, just soak in this environment.
yeah. Was it? Did he give her the ring on the beach?
What ring? The soulmate ring?
Oh, May ring.
No, no, that was further along in the book
That,
when he
that was a
gave
little
her
bit
the
farther
soulmate
along.
ring. He
But I
actually
think
gave her the. They were dating for a while before he gave her the soulmate ring.
okay, because they jumped right into dating. I mean, after they came
Right, they
back,
did. They
yeah,
did because that first on that trip, that was their first sexual encounter as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, and I was like, it was just too much. That was too much. I mean, the first two chapters, I was flipping the page. No, no, no. This is too. It was too much. It was
yeah,
too much. I was like, this
yeah,
is too much too soon. But
yeah.
that's the author. That's who she is.
Okay,
Her pseudonym is Honeybee. I don't know if
okay.
you ever heard that's her pseudonym. So that's who she is. That's what her books are about. So I expected that.
So you've
So
read a lot of her
so
books.
I have, but
Okay.
was just trying to get to the bread. Let's move this along. And
She
then
was
like with her,
she was definitely graphic in her language. She was super
right,
graphic, man. She was super
yeah,
graphic. But I think she did a good job of showing. But you know what? She showed a very empowered woman. But I think she showed an empowered woman that represents women, a lot of women of today. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where women wouldn't like put out, that fast, or wouldn't go out of town with a guy that fast. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to get to know
mhm.
him. But she went out with him that weekend. You know what I'm saying? And not only
Well,
went
that
out with him
just
that.
shows she. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I'll go
No,
on.
you good. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. But
No,
as she described a more modern woman, is what you're saying, right? But
yeah.
that book was written in like in the 90s, I'm thinking, or early
But
2000s.
I think it's a definite foreshadow of what women have morphed into, in this in these and don't give me the woman that of today, the Genesis was long before. I mean, it was years before now. You know what I'm saying, to produce.
Right.
I mean, as far as, because I mean, like I said, 6-figure woman, luxury car driving. Dad, I mean, knew who her daddy was. Her daddy took care of him because took care of her because she always
Right.
referenced her daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's so imperative in a woman's life, to have a dad, who
Mhm,
speaks into her and provides that confidence. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? I do a lot of reading and research, with Willie Lynch and all the things, and Willie Lynch talks about how uh, how how women, the nature of women has been reversed, because women raise our daughters to be psychologically independent, but raise their sons to be mentally weak but physically strong. So being psychologically independent means they raise them to be strong women. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm,
when a father comes along and speaks, kind of puts confidence in along with that, to let her know who she is, to let her
mhm.
know what not to put up with, you know what I'm saying, to know what game to recognize, all those things. Jada was solid in that regard, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
she
Mhm,
probably represented a lot of what women today say that men are intimidated by. Because I hear that all the time. Black men are intimidated by strong women. You know what I'm saying? We don't want women who have it together. I mean, I don't know. That's not my testimony. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I'm not intimidated by anybody. But that's the scenario, or that's the consensus, should I say, that's out there
Mhm,
now, that a lot of black men are intimidated by strong women. So I do love the fact that Mary Morrison presented a very strong black man. You know what I'm saying? And she built a strong black man that didn't. And then when I say strong, I mean strong as far as his image is regards to he's gotten his finances together. He's gotten his education together. His parents kind of left a nest egg for him and set him up in life where he could be successful. So she really presented a very, very, very high value man, and that high valued man ended up connecting with a high valued woman
right.
that wasn't
Woman.
just going
Right.
that wasn't just
Right.
going to accept anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, because you know
So I
what,
guess they would, just the comparison, they were like a mirror image of each other.
they
Like,
were.
when Jada was, I don't want to give a spoiler because I've completed the book.
Yeah,
Um,
go ahead.
when Jada quit the company and was
Uh-huh.
going to start off on her own, and her friend asked her, "Well, does he know that you're an investor?" See, he hadn't even met the business side of her. He
Nope.
didn't know that side of her. And she was like, "Well, her dad told her, be able to take care of yourself."
Mm-hmm.
And so he started her to invest at a young age as well. But so
You're right. They never did discuss her
they never
business, did
did discuss her business like that. No,
they? You
no.
gotta put
And then
that.
later on in the book, they talked about where she worked, but they never did give a name until that other lady came into the picture.
Mm-hmm. And there's another question. So if this is a soulmate thing, and we don't have to go lean. I mean, because I don't think you have to be spiritual to be soulmates. You know what I'm saying? And some people,
No.
you can be Christian, Muslim, you can be whoever you are. Now typically I would think that religions would align. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, my point is, with them being soulmates, I lost my train of thought. But it's I just found it interesting that they were able to find each other after all those years in the same city. You know what I'm saying? And she had established herself in a powerful way. You know what I mean? Her dad had set up her legacy. So with that legacy being set up, couldn't just any man come in and insert herself. And you know what? And with her and what was her friend's name? Candace?
I don't recall. I can't recall.
Yeah. Was it Joy? What was it? I think it was Candace. But they were out every weekend hanging out, you know, going to some club, going to some restaurant, going somewhere hanging out. And I don't know if she was, and in any of those, out of all those encounters that she had gone out, she hadn't found anybody. Man, probably because she wasn't even looking. And this particular night, she wasn't looking either. But they connected. How does it happen? It was Candace, okay. Yeah, how does that happen? And I'm not gonna say it's a God thing, but I do think that spirit. Thank you, Monique. I do think that spirits do have to connect. Anybody else, like I said, if you've read the book and you want to come in and join the conversation and share with us a little bit, then we're gonna I want to get other people's views on the book. Thank you so much, Monique, for coming. Are you coming back? Okay, good. I don't want to be on this by myself. You're saving me.
I'm back.
Okay, good. Thank you. And if anybody, like I said, anybody else, we can put up to 10 people on this screen. You're welcome. Why is my?
I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this thing. I want to see the comments of other users as well. You know, everybody.
I'll read them. Somebody said connection and attraction. Somebody said, yeah, he was smooth from the jump. And then they say, yes, his name was Candace. Okay, so okay. Now this is what I was trying to get to a minute ago. So here these two soulmates are now. She's the only part I didn't like about it is that she seemed to lose herself. She immediately kind of submitted, if you will, to an extent, because she was I wanted to go to his house. She, you know, they were intimate pretty fast. She didn't ever talk about her business, knowing that he was doing it. So she was a strong, interesting character by herself, but everything kind of seemed to move towards his house, and it moved there real fast. Would you agree with that?
I would agree, yes.
Okay. And so not knowing at that time that his mother, and she was something special, wasn't she?
Right, wasn't she?
She was. I can't say
Mrs. Jones. Cynthia
yeah.
Jones.
Cynthia Jones, yes. I'm sure she said it just like that Miss High Society, you know, and that points a picture of overbearing parents, overly involved moms. Sometimes we try to especially moms that raise boys. Now, even though it was a husband in her life, he wasn't trying to, you know, he wasn't going to overstep and try to out talk Miss Jones. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, she was the boss, and she had a plan for Wellington's life without even involving Wellington in the plan. Because I don't know if she felt like he owed her something or whatever, because she knew she took him, and those that haven't gotten to that part of the book, they'll get to it a little bit later on. So I don't want to give too much away. But Mom saw Jada. She also, not only that, but she saw the connection that Jada had with Wellington and the potential that relationship could flourish into. And she wanted to do everything she could to sabotage her son's relationship, because she felt as though she knew what was best for her son. Am I saying it right?
You are.
And so because she thought she knew what was best for her son, then she interjected by trying to put another woman in his life. I mean, how messed up is that? You have a son?
No comment.
Do you have a son?
I do.
Okay, how old?
23.
So has he ever brought a girlfriend home?
He has.
Did you like her?
Yeah.
Did he ever bring home any that you didn't like?
No.
I did. I ain't gonna lie. I can remember
Well,
my mom.
like right now he's in a serious relationship with someone he's been with now. There's only been two girls that he's ever brought home.
Okay.
So when at 23, I got brothers, so my brothers was players, so to speak. I'm gonna say it like that.
Uh-huh.
But coming from that, that's good.
Oh,
He's
that's
in a
very
serious
good. If
relationship. He's been with the girl for about 2 years. I don't have any complaints. My
that's,
mother did.
did she,
My mother did. That's her grandson.
what
But
your
I
mama said?
didn't.
Tell me what your mama said, please.
I
What your mama
can't.
said?
I can't because this is a public forum. You know, my
Use
mother
you
did.
use synonyms.
But
Use
she no. I mean, I'm using discretion. She just had some questions. I'm not gonna say that she didn't like her. She
uh-huh.
just had some questions about their relationship. That's all. Because she's an older woman
Okay.
with my son, and my mom. She was like, "Well, we country south. This girl is well traveled. So that's what she was. This is her grandbaby. So."
She
Which
was
I
too
could
fast.
understand that, but I'm like, Mom, let him grow, let him branch out, let him spread his wings. She may be
Mama
able to teach him a thing or two.
Mama said she was too fast for him.
Not too fast, but she's older, more mature, and
Oh
he
wow.
likes a more mature woman.
I get
Which you know,
I'm sorry.
just think what you like modern women, and
Mm-hmm.
you know how the younger generation is these days from 16 to 30. From 16 to 25, they wilding out. Look at the culture,
But how did that culture
and
get that way though? What happened to their
right.
mamas and grandmamas?
But and then see, I'm more of a traditional parent.
Mm-hmm.
So by me being more of a traditional parent, he wasn't with the way the culture is. Like when he was in school, he would say the girls are different. They were more aggressive. Just he wasn't used to that. So it is what it is. So the immature fighting, just he was like, and he for a while he wouldn't even date. He wouldn't even date black women.
Really? My son went to that phase.
Really?
My son went through that phase. He went through that.
Like because he was saying that black women are black girls, so to speak, were too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, Mom, they fight every day. Like there were fights every day, and it was mostly girls fighting. But I'm like, look at where they come from first. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to knock anybody or say, your mentality is different.
Let me ask you a
Some
question.
people.
Go ahead, finish. Go ahead, finish your thought. Then I'm
No,
gonna ask
go
you a
ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Getting back to the book, because you use the term aggressive, and then and you related it to black women that your son said. Do you think? And let's talk Jada pre-Wellington. Okay. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think? And Joy, you can answer this question as well. Do you think that Jada was an aggressive woman? Okay. Do you
I
think?
don't think she was an aggressive woman. I would say that she knew what she wanted.
Okay.
There's a difference between being aggressive and then knowing what you want. She was a
I think
confident woman.
I think, yeah, confidence is the word, as strong is the word. And I think a woman can be strong without being aggressive.
Right.
I do believe that. And I think she was strong. Joy said she don't Joy said no, she don't think she was aggressive either.
See,
But I believe
right.
she had aggressive potential. It was
Yes,
there.
because when she found out about
It came
that,
out.
right. But that's what she was trying to suppress.
Yes.
She
So
was trying to suppress that anyway.
aggression
She
was
had
in there
learned,
then.
right. She learned how to control it.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
learned,
but
she learned how to control that.
it was definitely in there. And you know what? I almost believe that she did have some aggressive qualities, but I think she suppressed them for Wellington's sake. I believe it. I believe anybody else, because I believe oh boy, the basket Mr. NBA,
Mm-hmm.
she handled Mr. NBA. She handled Mr. NBA. She told him when to come, when not to come. She'll have a date with him this afternoon and say, look here, call him and tell him I'll reschedule him next week. That's strong. That's real.
Well,
That's
that just shows that she just wasn't desperate. She didn't put her relationship with him, you know, that wasn't on her top thing to do was
and
him.
she did something that I don't know how many women would do, but she was basically, in a sense, being intimate with more than one partner.
Mm,
Because he recently with Greg, whatever his name is, Mr. NBA, and then jumped right back
Daryl,
in with
I think his
Wellington.
name is like Daryl or something.
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah, Daryl. That was his name.
Well,
Uh,
she said he was on her he had a standing appointment with her.
a standing
He
appointment.
was forever on the list. She would say
He,
he forever on the list until I decide otherwise. That's what she told her friend.
yeah,
So if
I
he
remember.
and he accepted that, that's the understanding that they had.
And they weren't. But you know what? But Daryl would have married her yesterday. Daryl,
But
I believe. Huh?
something was missing with him. They didn't
She
have that connection.
she didn't have that connection with him. He had that connection with her. I believe
Okay.
Daryl was feeling, and because he kept coming back, he was feeling her. He showed up when Wellington. Well, that's later on in the book, so we don't want to talk about that right now. We'll get to that. Get a little bit more into that next week. But it just shows that even though they had a romantic connection, they still weren't soulmates. They weren't independently intertwined, whatever the definition was they said a minute ago. It was something about them that he thought he had a connect. Yeah, he thought he had a connection with her. It was a
He
one-way love
thought,
affair.
keyword thought.
Yeah,
Keyword is thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he, like you said, he knew because I'm gonna tell you what. If we got a date at 7 o'clock and your assistant called me at 3 o'clock and tell me, I'm gonna come out next week and don't get
Freeze it up.
I'm back. If you're here, I'm back. I am back. It blinked out. My internet blinked. I don't know why I did that, but come back if you're here. Come back, ma'am. Please, sir. If not, we will continue this discussion next week because I was enjoying it. And I'm really learning a lot of this stuff. So it's cool with me. Joy said he just had said, oh, Mr. Darrell just had appointments. He didn't have anything else but appointments. So he wasn't serious. She didn't take him seriously, but when she met old boy Mr. Wellington, she was ready to give it all up, give her hand to him and her heart to God, and really have this soulmate of a relationship. So it lets you know that sometimes a person can feel you like they're your soulmate or you're their soulmate, but you might not necessarily reciprocate in feeling, and that's okay. That's normally that's fine. I mean that happens. That happens. I'm sure we've all had someone that had a particular type of affinity towards us, and we just didn't feel the same way, you know. And you know what? Even in them not feeling, and even in not feeling the same way, that person can still serve a purpose. And Daryl fell apart. Monique, if you're there, come on back in. Let's finish this discussion. I got about 7 more minutes, and then I'm going to get off because we got on right at 9 o'clock, and so we're gonna go up to 10 o'clock. Because of tonight we kind of have established what a soulmate is. Then we just established in the book who a little bit about Jada and how Mary Morrison painted her to be a very strong individual, and even in her strength, she had to find someone of at least equal strength. It lets you know that it's hard for an alpha woman to be with a beta male. It's literally it's gonna, because she'll always be unsatisfied or unfulfilled, just running somebody like that. So she was an alpha female, if there is such a thing. I'm just gonna say a strong woman, and then he was definitely an alpha male, and because of that, they connected. He could say things and get away with certain things that, truthfully, she probably would not have allowed any other man to get away with. So we looked at the dynamics of their relationship and how their relationship evolved and how they came to be soulmates, because she did view him as her soulmate, and it was pretty quickly. It didn't take a long time. And also we made sure we highlighted the fact that there is a difference between a soulmate and a soul tie. There's a distinct difference between a soulmate and a soul tie. So in this book, we're specifically talking about a soulmate, and Jada and Wellington were soulmates. They were soulmates, and how we know that was emphatic or important was because the book in the book, in the first few chapters, Monique showed the dynamics of 2 different relationships. She showed the relationships. Let me make sure I have this. Let me put it on here again. She showed the dynamics of 2 relationships, and one of the relationships was with between Daryl and Jada, and the other relationship was between Wellington and Jada. And one of them was viewed, she had recognized as her soulmate, and the other one, I guess, was more of a jump off, if that's the correct word to use, because Joy said he just had appointments. So listen up. So it was 9:55. I think this is a good stopping point. Because I think we went through the first couple of chapters of the first section of the book. before, and we kind of even dealt with the dynamic of a mother trying to orchestrate or control her son's love life and who she wanted to be in his love life, not her love life, but she had plans. Excuse me, she had plans for her son, and love and a soulmate, love, I mean, and that's what it was. Love interrupted her plans, so she tried to orchestrate his life in such a way that would devalue his current relationship and try to satisfy her personal desires. We'll get into that next week. I thank Monique and Joy and those of you all that have come on and listened tonight. I'm looking for this to grow. Please share this with other people. The name of the book is Soulmates Dissipate. You can find it. I got it on Kindle, the Kindle app. So getting that app, and then I was able to download the book for $1.99. It's really an easy read. I promise you, if you got it today, you could easily have it knocked out by next week. And then if you had it knocked out by next week, you could participate in the conversation. I'm getting used to this software. And I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm actually not in the studio. I'll be in the studio tomorrow night doing my podcast. My podcast that comes on every week. It comes on every week on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's on Facebook Live, and it's also on YouTube at Disco 100 Radio. So if you're not doing anything during that time tomorrow, please, ma'am, please, sir, listen. We're talking about eyewitness accounts of miseducation through the eyes of an educator. This young lady has been teaching for over 18 years. And she has a lot of the time has been been in special education. So she deals with a lot of the invisible disabilities that our children deal with. And so she's going to be talking about that tomorrow night on the Intellectual Stew with James Kirkland. So listen, like I said, I've enjoyed myself tonight. I've had a good conversation with you guys. Monique, I really super appreciate you and Joy for being a part of our conversation. And I look forward to us eventually doing this again. So listen, I'm out. I'll see y'all next week. Remember this, the world is changing. My question is, why do you remain the same? Tell somebody, join the group on Facebook, the Intellectual Stew Book Club. See you next week.